Ladies love the skin.
Ow.
Bring it a little bit closer. The good skin, that is. That's why having a proper skincare routine is very important, and you need to feel the Lateef. The process is so easy, just 4 steps. You got your daily face wash. That's going to clean your face up nice and right. You got your exfoliator scrub. That's going to open up your pores. You got your AM moisturizer with the SPM 20, which is going to protect you from the sun. You also got your PM moisturizer, which is going to make sure your skin is protected throughout the night. Lateef has tons of reviews from dedicated customers across the world. I know I said a lot, but it's okay, because guess what? It comes with an instruction card to explain to you in detail what to do morning and night. And because Lateef is a sponsor, they're offering my family 30% off along with a free gift. Just click that link that's in the description and feel the Lateef.
wait. I know what you're going to say. I'm not a man and I don't have a beard, but he does. And so does he. And we are going to help you grow, enhance, and groom your beard and hair. So even if you're not a man, yet you know one, we have something for you. Now, we all know someone or we ourselves may want to grow our beard from our facial hair. We may want to grow our hair on our scalp, but we don't know how. We've been struggling. I have 3 points for you that's going to help you grow your beard, and not just grow it, but hydrate it, allow it to come in healthy and shiny, and be able to groom it properly without all the flaking and the itchiness that sometimes comes with grooming the beard. Okay, number 1, be patient and consistent. Now, growing your beard is going to take time. It's going to take at least 4 to 6 weeks for your stubble to start coming in. And I'm touching this, y'all, but you know, I'm not trying to grow my beard. I'm trying to help you grow yours. In those 4 to 6 weeks, you may notice a little itching, a little irritation, a little discomfort. All of those things are normal. Just don't give up and commit to the process. Okay, so number 2, resist the urge to trim and shape your beard for the first 4 to 6 weeks. Just let it grow. We all have different growth rates for our hair and for our beards, even our mustache. This is controlled by genetics and also our internal health. So just let it grow. Number 3, don't hesitate to start now using products. Yes, there are products that will help cleanse, hydrate, and groom your beard. When you start now developing an early regimen, this will get you in the routine of skin and hair care, because healthy beards don't just start from the hair coming in, it starts from your skin. So we have the products for you. We have a 4-piece system where we will cleanse, moisturize with the hydrating lotion. Then you will be able to use the balm for styling, softness, and shine. And then you're going to lock in all that beautiful humectants and moisturization with our oil for your beard, hair, and body.
Just had to take a moment to see my beard looking so good. Man. Make sure y'all click that link.
So Lapeef and Sugar Crows have teamed up to bring an awesome line to you all. We have been working on this to make it just right for you and your loved ones. So please, if you love this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. If you love these 3 facts. Okay, so and what if, like, after I said all of that, you still don't know where to start? We do offer 30-minute consultations where we will walk you through from an internal and topical standpoint of how you can enhance, grow, and groom your beard as well as your hair. Please tune in to our next video. We're going to give you more value, more information, and don't forget to purchase our products online at assuredmannaturals.com. There you can get 15% off when you use code Lapeef15, and we'll see you in the next video.
What's going on, family? Welcome to King Talk. We're going to introduce the group. We got Sweetie, Fair Smooth, Marcus, Shank Balls, Hank, James. Got a couple of people coming through. Me, myself, and Lapeef JR. Welcome to King Talk to the Lapeef Network. What's going on, family? What's going on? How y'all doing?
Sup.
What's going on? What's happening, fellas?
Another day in the paradise.
Right on.
It's good to see you guys, man. It's Tuesday. This week is going by slow. Last week's like it went by pretty fast. How was your Thanksgiving?
It is.
It's good. That deep fried turkey turned out well, JR. Okay. How about yourself? How was your Thanksgiving?
I didn't have no turkey.
Oh, damn. You jive turkey.
What you had?
I had some gumbo greens.
You said some gumbo green?
Yeah.
What is that?
It's
Gumbo, but just with greens.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's some gumbo greens. I had some yams. Just had like a little something, wasn't nothing. It was pretty light, man. I was
Is that
working.
like
Yeah.
is
You
that
say
like a
what?
family? Is that like a family recipe or some from your native country?
What you trying to insinuate, Hank?
No, no. I'm just asking. I'm just wondering. I'm curious.
Nah, it was just something. Something just ran across. Just tried.
You're
You
right, Jr.
vegetarian now?
Hmm? You said I'm a vegetarian?
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes I'm vegan. Not all the time.
Okay.
I thought you was talking about another type of yams.
Ain't nothing wrong. Ain't nothing wrong with that on Thanksgiving either, James.
Anyhow, man, it's good to see you guys, man. Welcome to King Talk, as we stated before. Shout out to the sponsor, T-Jelly, Uncomplicated Skincare for Men, 30% off alone, a free gift. Make sure you guys click that link that's in the description. Also, me and Sugar Girls teamed up to bring you guys a phenomenal beard and hair skin product. So make sure you guys put in Lapeef 15 when you guys go to the website and go ahead and get your beard right, Sweeney. Trev, Marcus.
Yes, sir.
I see that. Yeah. And that's with no surgery right there, too. That's with no surgery. Look at that.
Hey, a link popped up in the thing about a dude going to Turkey to get a beard transplant. I'm like, this is all JR in Paradise fault. I ain't seen no beer ads ever.
Go ahead and click that link. Hit the like button. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. It's good to get this show started. All ready, gentlemen? What's going on, Mr. Shannon Rawls? Okay. Shout out to all my green gang that's in the chat as well. Hit that link that's in the description and go green. Our first topic of the night is how the heart and brain works between women and men.
Man's brain is his business, his work, his community, his charity, his other extended family. In his heart is his wife and his kids. In a woman's brain is her husband. In her heart are her kids and money. You can interpret this however you want. I am a woman and I said what I said.
I'm gonna play it one more time, man. I'll show y'all pictures. Y'all ready? Y'all good? All right, here we go.
In a man's brain is his business, his work, his community, his charity, his other extended family. In his heart is his wife and his kids. In a woman's brain is her husband. In her heart are her kids and money. You can interpret this however you want. I am a woman and I said what I said.
All right, there we go. How the heart and brain works between women and men. We'll go ahead and start with you first, Trey. What are your thoughts about this, sir?
I'm gonna say that could work sometimes, but yeah, men, we definitely compartmentalize things, but not necessarily in that order. I mean, listen, I know a lot of dudes who whose women is in their brain and never in their heart, right? That's just how a lot of men operate, just to make sure that they are not. And women too. It's some cold women out here, man. Some of these women like assassins out here, man. That was probably like how it used to be, really. But a lot of modern day women right now, man, their husband is not in their heart. You could tell just by the way they treat their men. There's no respect. There's no admiration, no love. It's very different now. Like
she said her husband is in her brain. She said kids and money is in her heart.
That's right. Money, well, she got the woman part right. I think she got the man part wrong though. But yeah, man, husband, in her brain, I say that. I would definitely say that. But it's not 100% on that either, because sometimes women are with their emotions, and where are you going to say their emotions lie? In their heart or in their brain, right? Where do their emotions lie? So a lot of times that's the case too. So it's a little confusing. But like I said, it's definitely on an individual basis. It's not, you can't lump it all into one. That's not how we all operate. Everybody has their own way of doing it.
All right. I'm gonna go ahead and go to you, Marcus. How did you interpret it? How did heart and brain works between women and men?
Yeah, I also don't think that's all women. I think that's a specific type of women. So I think she really was trying to guess for men, because I think it really depends on the man how we interpret those two things. Because the men y'all mostly call simps, I would say that a woman is definitely in their heart and their brain at the same time, and push them to do everything in the benefit of just her, right? With all self-sacrifice and never thinking about what they necessarily need. I think it's interesting that she used money and kids as the thing she loved and not the man. And that type of ideology, I think, would lead to a divorce rate at 50%, because women prioritize things they love. They need their kids. They feel they need money. Her saying that she thinks she, that kind of it kind of amounts to like, I think, or I want a man, but I don't need a man. But I need to be there for my kids, and I need money. Like, you get what I'm saying? The corresponding things, they don't quite sit right with me. To me, that would have been a red flag. I'm not gonna lie.
All right, go ahead, Sweeney.
I was about to say, come back to me on that one.
I'll come back. Go ahead, James.
I think she was spot on with what she was saying, and the reason why I said it, because she didn't say a man, she said a husband. So when a man gets a wife, he's going to think totally different. And when Trev was talking about with the emotional part, I think it was spot on too, because it's in the brain. A lot of that stuff is just them psyching themselves out and getting emotional, and how they think and how they process and stuff. So I think she was spot on, and she hit the key points, because the man is over the family, so he's going to make sure everybody's okay. But the wife is going to be making sure everything from her end is down, and which is the kids, and make sure she has her stability. So I think she was kind of spot on, and I'm liking where the guys are kind of putting different things. I kind of want to hear some other stuff what the guys got to say.
I'm gonna go to you, Professor Carl Tone Jones.
Oh, well, first of all, thanks for inviting me to the panel. But I think that, especially if I heard her right, and I think what the brother James said was accurate in terms of a husband. It's different if it's a husband than if it's just, a man with his lady or whatever, in terms of like how they correspond with one another. But a man, in terms of protection and provision, especially when it seeks to be a husband, is going to be functioning from that perspective, is going to, have his family in his heart. A man he's the shield. He will die protecting his family. But I also found interesting, though, was the way she talked about how the woman felt, or how the woman thinks, and how the man is in her brain, which, okay, he's the head, but also how her children are in her heart, and the money is in her heart, from the standpoint of actually preparing for a rainy day. If this situation doesn't work out, I have to make sure I'm taken care of, which is kind of like preparing to fail, which is why I think a lot of women exit these situations. And I think 80% of women leave marriages and relationships, at the conclusion of them. So I think it falls in line with that thought process.
All right. Go ahead, Brother Hank.
Yeah, I agree with my man James, man, because look, that's the reason why they talking about as a husband, or like she's saying as a husband, that a husband more likely he's thinking about the whole situation, everything that's going on, everything he's aware, he knows what's going on, he knows what's coming, what's going as far as his income and all that. That woman, she's worried about them kids that she gave birth to. and she's worried about that backdoor fund. And she's got a stash of money just in case shit goes left and shit don't go the way she thinks it should go, and she's on her way out. So yeah, those two priorities are going to be her most important things. If I need to get out of here because he's not doing what I think he should be doing, yeah, I'm gone. And me and these kids are getting up through. So yeah, I believe that. But that husband, yeah, he's focused on everything. Now, it's possibility shit. Like she was saying, he's not gonna really know that she's focused. She's gonna play the role. She's gonna put on the act. She's gonna put on the front like everything's okay. But all in a while, she's making that escape route plan. While he's planning for the future. You know what I'm saying? Doing what he needs to do to make sure his kids are in the best situation. Doing what he's doing, making sure the home is safe and sound, and they in a area of their prospective state or city or town or whatever the case might be that she wants to be. He's hanging out with his friends and they probably have a couple things together, and because that's what she wanted. He's probably doing everything that she wanted to do, but somehow, some way, she found some type of one fault that he has, and that was her reason to leave. And that's how they would move if that was the situation. So yeah, I believe they they think like that lady said. I believe she was trying some real game.
All right, I'm gonna go to Sweeney, but I'm gonna play one more time before I do.
Man's brain is his business, his work, his community, his charity, his other extended family. In his heart is his wife and his kids. In a woman's brain is her husband. In her heart are her kids and money. You can interpret this however you want. I am a woman, and I said what I said.
All right, go ahead, Sweeney.
All right. Reason why I asked you to come back to me, because I'm struggling to kind of wrap my head around this. But I guess, haven't we always said this, that the only thing that are unconditionally loved are women and children? And that's essentially kind of what she's alluding to. Is there's a men unconditionally love their women and children. But when we talk about what we do and how we move as far as how our minds work, we're thinking about a lot of other different things. For instance, like our job, work, community, extended family, I guess. I don't know what she meant by that, but I'm guessing. And how I looked at it it just seems like she's basically saying that, and no woman loves her man unconditionally. The only thing she loves unconditionally is her children and the money that comes in for her to make sure that she's good. And what she respects, I guess, from a mindset perspective, is supposed to be her man. Because I always thought about the idea that women always say that, oh, well, we're loved, only women are loved unconditionally. But I'm starting to believe, I believe that this is how it used to be, that while men weren't loved unconditionally, we were respected unconditionally at some point in time. I think that might have flipped on its head, because you're starting to see, like Trev said, starting to see a lot more men get disrespected on this in the world. So I don't know if what she says plays a factor now when you're talking about a 30% marriage rate and people out here doing what they're doing. But I do believe there was a time where that was legit, what she said.
All right. Go ahead, Mr. Shannon Rawls.
Mic check 1 2.
Good, Mike.
Mike hot.
The woman in the video is speaking traditionally. She is absolutely spot on for how it used to be and how marriage should be set up. The men, they're thinking about business and kids. That's what's in their head. In their heart, they doing that business and kids stuff because they want to make sure that their family is covered. Their heart is their wife and kids. That's what she said. Then she said the women, the husband is in her head. She's thinking about her husband. She's making sure she's good. Helpmate. This is what women traditionally and historically have been for ages and eons. And then her heart is kids and money. Now, here's the thing I don't agree with, the money part. In fact, I don't agree with the money part traditionally or in modern terms. But the point is, overall, she's right historically. But for today, 2023, modern times, how people move in you know, post-technological era of relationships, she's off in terms of women. I think men still move with business in mind. Husbands, like my man said, you know, she's speaking husbands and wives. I think, you know, men are sticking about making sure they're taking care of business and they're doing it for their families. That's what men do still today. However, women is completely flipped. Women today, what's in their head is money and kids, if anything else. And what's in her heart is herself. Oftentimes, when we look at the divorce rates, when we think about reason why people when they've done exit polls. And now, you know, there's a difference between a study and a poll. I get it. There's a study and a survey, but even if we just look at the observable communities of even in our people in our families, think about your aunties, your uncles, and the people in your family. We can pretty much assess that a lot of people are selfish today. There's a lot of selfishness. It's almost like a disease. And when she said women are thinking about their husband in their head, no, the hell they not. That's what men is asking for. We talk about it all. I say it all the time. What is your purpose, ladies? Your purpose is your husband. What? Oh no, I got my own purpose. My purpose ain't no man. No, I don't. That women are being conditioned to make sure that men are not in their head, and instead, the only thing that she needs to worry about today is getting money and making sure her kids is good. And that's even questionable oftentimes when we look at the outcome of our children. And the reason for that is because what's in her heart is herself. Take care of yourself. Put yourself first. Level up. Cut, day ones only. Cut people off. Selfishness is being promoted so much. It's in women's heart. Because, women can be manipulated like that because they're emotional beings. And that's good to be emotional, but it's being directed in a bad direction. It's being sent in a bad direction, if you ask me. And so because selfishness is in the women's hearts, what she's saying is completely flipped. I believe that women aren't wives, even today, boyfriend, girl, however, is not thinking about their man. He is not in her head. Now, if she was a solid wife, and she comes from a traditional conservative background or something like that, then probably that's the case. I get that. But when the numbers that's bearing out, if we talk about the divorce rate in America at 50%, 60% in the Black community, and then half of the people that stay married is unhappy, they just staying together because why not? Then that's 75% of motherfuckers. That's 75% of unhappy marriages. And out of that is, why is that happening? Selfishness, man. It's a lot of selfishness. And so if you ask me, she's off for today. She's talking about what it should be. I agree with that. And I don't think money is in women's heart, even traditionally. I think that all women think about it is their husband in her head and her kids in her heart. She ain't worried about the money because that's one of the reasons why we have alimony and the courts are so unfair to men, because women was left high and dry when they put all their trust in their man and his ass ran off or went and got somebody else pregnant or got divorced, and the women had no skills, no money, no nothing. They create the alimony is 97% men paid to women, 3% women to men. So that's the reason why, because women traditionally didn't think about money. So I think she was off on the money part traditionally, but today women are thinking about money and it's damn sure in their head.
So are you suggesting? Go ahead,
Sweeney.
Oh,
I just wanted to bring. Go ahead. Go ahead, Sweeney. Go ahead, Sweeney. I'll go right after you.
Oh, it's gonna be quick. So Shannon, are you suggesting that kids and money is in her head, herself is in her heart, and a man is in her crotch?
Pop.
Maybe
so
depends because they don't need men for that. Now they got the roles. But go ahead, Trev.
I wanted to bring up a point real quick, right? Because I mean, a lot of people are leaning towards, a woman, or the wife is in his heart. Now that might be initially, right? But if we're saying that 50% is ending in divorce, 75 is likely unhappy, right? And even if the women are leaving, right? If a woman is unhappy, best believe the man is unhappy because she's going to deliberately make your life miserable because of the level of resentment she'll have for you once she is unhappy, right? So, she's going to stop doing things on purpose, weaponizing sex, and just being a nuisance after a while. So, I know men who drive to their house, sit in their driveway for a half hour just to mentally prepare themselves to deal with that particular woman that they're going in the house to. And at that point, I can't see a man actually loving her anymore. She's no longer in his heart. But the reason why he will still do what he does is because he understands duty. And that's why I would say it's in his brain at that point, because this is what happens, unfortunately, to most marriages. They fail, or even if they're still active, it's still a failure because they're not a cohesive unit. They're just doing it just to do it. Just because a man understands duty, he might be doing a bid until the kids grow up. And there's so many different reasons why he just will no longer love her.
This is why I said that it's so problematic for what Shannon said as far as women being selfish today. They don't understand that the pendulum always swings the other way. What happens in a world where men become selfish? Because right now we're still operating on duty. Right now we're still operating out of selflessness. What happens when we become more selfish? What happens when men stop operating in their duty? I don't think a lot of people understand that world, but the thing is the pendulum always swings the other way. Men are going. You're starting to see it now. What do you think is what do you think is going to happen when they even the playing fields? When you start talking, when they start with all these laws that's starting to pass, where they're talking about how men no longer have to, how alimony is starting to swing the other way, or how they're these new, once they start passing these new divorce laws, you're going to start seeing way more men exit these marriages. Because I think Shannon is right. You're starting to see there's a lot of men that stay out of duty, and then they still get left. What happens when the playing field is even, and men no longer feel obligated to do the things that they're supposed to do? I don't know if. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say I think that's gonna affect men too as well, because a lot of the reasons why we do things is because of family. So when you take that family from that man, now it's gonna hurt other men because who's gonna run the power grid? Are they gonna still want to do that? Are they still gonna want to do these jobs that a lot of people don't want to do? So we kind of got to think about that too as well. Get these brothers together.
I think, and I don't know if y'all ever watched the movie Mulan, right? Anybody ever watched the cartoon movie Mulan?
Nope.
One of the songs that always stuck to me is when they went to war and they were singing. They said, "A woman worth fighting for." Have 90% of the shit that men do on this planet, we do it for our women and children. If we have nothing to fight for, you're gonna get exactly what you're starting to see today. Less men are working, less men have a purpose, less men are trying. And like James said, then your power grid starts to fall off. Then you start losing soldiers when it comes to wartime. Then you start losing workers in the factories because they don't have anything to fight for. If a lot of men, if they don't have anything and all they can do and all they need to survive is a PlayStation 5, a couch, in an apartment with no furniture, they will do that and eat fucking bonbons and goddamn pizza rolls and shit all day and wouldn't give a shit and would live off of that. But the rest of us can't survive if men are giving up because they don't have anything worth fighting for. Because men are simple. We're very simple. So when a man gets to be selfish, notice how simple his life gets, but how dangerous it gets for everybody around him when he becomes selfish. When men are selfish, it's not dangerous to the man himself. It's dangerous to those that are around him.
Hey, if I may, remember when Superman? Anybody? I might be dating myself. I think it was like the second Superman when Richard Pryor was in it. The
I
one
remember
with
that one.
when he gave him that janky kryptonite and made Superman just stop caring. That's what it's going to start looking like when we don't have a purpose. And it's unfortunate because when you think about how fickle the situation is, it really comes down to the fact that women, our women in particular, they don't really like us. And because they don't really like us, they'll deal with the amenities, they'll deal with the comfort, they'll deal with the protection that we provide them. But then as soon as the honeymoon period is over, she starts pulling the Tia Mowry. She starts looking for a way to graduate from a marriage, perfectly good marriage. And like you say, that constant part of us providing duty is what's still because as some have said that black men are pretty much, if we're going from just the dating pool, black men are the garbage men of the dating pool. We have the lowest standards of any other men when it comes to dealing with dating, dealing with marriage, dealing with the things we put up with and tolerate. Um, so when you get to the point where men who have been conditioned to deal with that, to deal with verbal abuse, to deal with, a lot of situations where it makes life uncomfortable for us, where we have to sit in the driveway for a half hour before we go into the house. And then we have to get up in the morning to do a job we don't like, where we're struggling and fighting on that job to not lose our job, to come home to a situation we don't want. Eventually, you do lose the motivation to keep doing that. So I'm looking for answers like you all are.
Yeah, I feel like
For the record,
we've
man,
made a
it's
society
Superman
that's
3.
a
Richard
little
Pryor
too.
was in 3.
And that was part
Oh,
three.
okay.
Yeah, it was.
I think we've made a society that's so comfortable for women that they no longer appreciate our needs. Right? We respect and appreciate the needs that we have for women, but women no longer respect it because they're working now for one. Although they're not working the same jobs that we are. Not those necessarily. They're not in STEM. They're not building infrastructure. Nothing like that. If we ever stop, it's a wrap, and we all know that. Well, the men know that. The women don't realize that because they're so used to it, right? And these women have been born into this convenience, right? That they have. It's been too sweet, and if we ever stop, it's a wrap. But they don't care because they don't feel like we will, right? And we never have done anything to prove that we will. So why would they appreciate you, especially what we've done as far as legislation, how we've made it to where it's disadvantage for men all across the board, court system, laws, no matter how you spin it, right? So men are motivated to stay in horrible situations that they should never be in, right? And you've given women so much power because you're going to take this L. Your life will no longer be as it was, and you're going to lose your children. So a lot of times you're like weighing it like, man, do I really want to lose access to my children? Do I want to now live in the projects and because that's all I'm going to be left with? Do I want to go into ramen noodles mode? Do you want to trade your whole life for something that's several levels down from what you are right now? Or can you just endure what you're dealing with this female and try to psych yourself out so you can deal with it?
I got a question.
You know something. Go ahead.
Niggas is selecting the ramen noodles nowadays.
Yeah.
They taking the ramen noodles. They taking the ramen noodles in the 1-bedroom studio.
Bro. They seriously, Shannon is right. Yeah. You're seeing it. I'm telling y'all. How many of y'all are finding? I know some of y'all own businesses. How many of y'all are finding it hard to find good employees? Like these dudes really are like, hey, look, I work these 5-10 hours a week, go back to the crib, buy me some, get on 2K, and because nope, they don't have shit to fight for. They don't have shit to live for but themselves. So they choosing the top ramen, the piece of puffs, the piece of rolls, and they may get some strange from time to time and keep it pushing. And it looks bad for all of us.
But 20, does it really look bad for us? I mean, are they just tired? They just tired. They want their peace.
I say
it may not be worth the headache that they have to deal with. So if they don't, look, you got homeless people. Some homeless people I heard are homeless because they don't want the responsibilities of an adult. Well, you got some men who's taking on that same mantra. They like, the hell with these women. I'm tired of putting up with it. Is it worth getting that 20-minute nut from these heifers? I'd rather just beat my meat with my lotion.
What?
And be by myself and be okay. And come home and be peaceful in my efficiency apartment. I'm content. They deal with it.
I guess the way I'm looking at
go
it.
to the strip club, they'll trick off a little bit, maybe get patted on the head and slapped on the ass and keep it moving. Some dudes are like that, man, because they tired of the bullshit.
But I think
these 2023 women, I believe they got that mindset that this woman's talking about. Majority of these 2023 women got this type of mindset. They don't really care about you.
I think what he's trying to hit on is how productive the men are. So if the men in the nation, other nations going to look at us as being they easy over here. Let me go over here and take over type of deal, because a lot of they having a very hard time recruiting people in the military. Nobody's trying to go to the military now, and the people that are getting in the military, they getting out in their first contract, they getting disability. You know what I'm saying? So they getting paid for the rest of their life. You know what I mean? So it's a hustle now. So a lot of our, the strong foundations that this country was built on, a lot of it is gone. So who's going to be the man? The man's going to step up. So if somebody invade, a lot of people going to be like, hey, I'm protecting myself. I ain't going to protect you. Good luck.
I'm gonna be real with you though, James. I know I don't think this is just an American problem at this point. The people in Japan are having the same issue. Those in China are having the same issue.
Not China.
Europe is having the same issue. And the countries that don't have this issue don't have the resources to take over any of these other countries. So it's like the ones that don't have the issue with their women are too poor to actually impact the world, and the ones that do having the same fucking problems we got over here.
Yeah, I agree with that, because I seen a clip this morning on news. I want to say Japan or China, one of the two. They having a dating coach had set up things for speed dating over, so they could create more kids and family, because the numbers are small. So I mean, yeah, I believe it's not just an American Western thing.
Yes, I think it's just the Western side. China and Russia ain't having this problem. They have they stopping a lot of programming that's going on over there in those countries and stuff. So they don't have that issue. But the Western countries, European countries, does. I agree with that.
Oh, China definitely got this issue. They just don't let all of it get out. They got this issue. They got a worker crunch too going on over there. But theirs is due to a different reason. But
and a lot of kids are moving back in with their parents. They actually have a deficit right now. Their Social Security is going to crash because they're having way less children. They have some issues over there too, for sure. Social issues, real social issues.
And shit, Russia can barely take on the Ukraine. Shit, they over there getting bodied by a small country. So we all. I just seen this video the other day. They showed these little Russian kids doing not parkour, but like a little girl was doing gymnastics, the other one was doing gymnastics or something. They was like, meanwhile, our kids are lazy. I said, that's the video that they showed you. You think every Russian kid over there doing that? Hell no.
Nope.
They just as modern as we are over here. Because like one thing we know for sure is the more modernized society gets, and the less the women need the men, the more you start to see the shit we going through today. And Russia got the same problem. The UK has the same problem. China has the same problem. Japan has the same problem. You even starting to see it pop up in the Middle East. The more money that they get, you even starting to see it pop up over there. So
they've been working on the Middle East. They've been working on the Middle East for a minute now. That's why you saw so many of those cats trying to hop on those planes leaving out of Afghanistan, even on the wings and shit. But I think one of the things that is happening now is with this stagflation in this economy, a lot of women are softening up their stances, and I've noticed, especially since you know, you start having like the rumors of the passport bros, and you start having men actively speak out about just going monk or whatever. I've noticed now you have a lot more women actually calling a lot of this out. Now I think part of this is because they looked at it at first and they thought that they can kiki and giggle and it wouldn't affect them until they looked around the room and realized, oh, these brothers are not choosing us either. And now you have a lot more of them speaking to this issue and calling it out in regards to women's bad behavior that's driving men away. And I think the more you see this economy go down and the more unemployment that pops up, because specifically the jobs that a lot of these ladies have, they're the first ones on the chopping block. And so with this and automation, you're starting to see a small tinge. Now, I also know that we're hearing death wells from a lot of these women who are trying to maintain that posture from what they were before. But I'm noticing now they're starting to get some resistance from, in the peanut gallery that's shooting down some of the things they've been talking about. This whole "I don't need a man" type talk. They're getting a little they're getting a little pushback now.
So
So
things get a
am I
little shaky.
am I to take it that y'all believe the women never loved a man, never loved men, like in the history?
No, I wouldn't
That's
say
what y'all saying?
I wouldn't
Nah,
say that. I wouldn't say that.
Oh,
nah.
okay.
I say modern day society, but not. They did at some point. It was just a different world, man. People appreciated each other, man. This selfishness really came up. You always had your outliners and everything, right? And you had your power hungry people and everything else, but it's just different now. Like it's just one of those things, right? If you didn't earn anything, then you have no appreciation for it, right? Women get these amenities now that they never had access to before. It's just so convenient. That's why even a lot of our men are softer now, just because life is easy, man. You got your smartphone. You don't have to look nothing up. I'm used to encyclopedias, man, and even that's a stretch. Like there were people before that had no way of getting information. Modern technologies, the more advanced we become, the weaker we are, the lazier we are, because everything is just too damn easy. You don't have to go to the store. I did all my Black Friday shopping online. I didn't even leave my house. Like I went on the computer and it just pops up at your door now. Like, what do we have to do anymore? Everything is way too easy. You don't even have to be, even our jobs, we had to be proficient at everything. Now everybody's a specialist. They just know how to do one thing. One thing. A lot of the doctors and people's houses that I go to, doctors that are supposed to be so smart, can't change a damn light bulb, man. It's that bad.
Nigga grew up on the Dewey Decimal System. I better hope half y'all don't even know what that is.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Talking about microfiche and microfilm in the library.
Hey, boy. Hey, Shannon still got his library card from 1989.
I don't necessarily have a problem with life getting easier. You know what I mean? That's what we're designed to do. We designed to make things easier as time goes on. It'll be foolish to keep doing something the hard way. You know what I mean? You're supposed to work. You're supposed to work smart, not hard. You know what I mean? So I have no problem with us making things easier. I think where we getting it wrong at is we forgot that when it got easy, we wasn't supposed to separate. We wasn't supposed to lose sight of what made us us. You know how they always say, don't forget where you came from. And I think that's where we're at. We forgot where we came from. We forgot that we came from humble beginnings. And so now we're taking advantage or taking for granted the ease of our lives today. Because we're not capitalizing on it. You're not building on top of it. You're just using it. And I think that's what a lot of people are doing today. We're not capitalizing. We're not building on it. We're just using the ease and we're using each other up. And this is the world we get.
I think most of the problem comes because the people don't want to tell the truth. right? They don't want to tell the mistakes. They always want to say, oh, this person did me wrong, this person did me bad, rather than saying, hey, I made these mistakes, I made this. Now your kids grow up with all this trauma. Oh, dad wasn't there. But you don't, your mom didn't tell you, she didn't know who the daddy was. You know what I'm saying? So she has totally lied and said your dad got killed or something like that, and got shot or he left or whatever, or all these different situations. So a lot of us got trauma from our parents, and which it was a lie, but we never questioned it because we just always believe mama, we always believe dad type of deal. So I think if we kind of go away from that, we can grow a better society, and we can kind of change a lot of the illness we have in our communities. But what's up, Chicago? What's up, brother?
What's going on, Rilla?
Man, I'm just I just showed up to the panel, man, because I saw a whole bunch of light-skinned activity, man. I feel like y'all need to, you know what I'm saying, get some chocolate on the panel. You did too much Al B. Shaw activity up here, man. What's popping?
Shit, it's only 3 of us that claim light skin. What you talking about, Rilla?
You say that's too many.
Oh, is that right? One's too many. Okay.
You guys just tuned in. Welcome to King Talks. Make sure we hit that like button. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. I am dropping that link right now. So you guys go ahead and get that Sugar Curls and Lapeef collab. Make sure y'all go ahead and get your beard right, man. Get your hair right. It's only right that you do so. You know, we got the beard and face and body cleanser, the beard and hair oil, the beard, face, and body moisturizer lotion, and we got the beard and hair balm. So y'all go ahead and click that link. Also, shout out to the sponsor again, TJ, Uncomplicated Skincare for Men. 30% off along with a free gift. The link is in the description. With that being said, let's go ahead and move on to our next topic, which is stop being addicted to sex.
Look at God. Look at God.
Oh, so this ain't right here.
Oh, but I could tell this about to be some foolishness.
That's because that statement ain't right, JR. That's why that video ain't working.
This about to be some foolishness.
God damn.
Hold on.
Damn.
It's gonna be some
God was
food.
like, no.
His mouth was wide.
Oh, man.
Yeah, the wide.
Why you get that together? I gotta ask a question. Did y'all feel like that she was talking about marrying for duty as opposed to like being over the hill, like in love with the man she marrying? That kind of sounded more to me like she felt like she was in a duty, like a dutiful marriage, where she ain't really want to be there, but mentally she knew that that's what she needed to take care of the things she loved, her kids, and the provision for the kids.
I didn't get that. I didn't even really get her talking about marriage at all. I thought she was just talking about the purpose of people and what they were thinking. But that's just me.
Yeah.
Marcus, I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, look, you got some women whose mindset is a family is just her and a child. That's a family. That's what she consider family. It's her and a child. Bullshit, heifer. If that husband ain't in a church, you ain't no family. You just a single parent with a child. Plus one is what they say on your insurance. The bullshit. You ain't no damn family.
You know what's crazy though? I wouldn't even if that was what she was saying, I don't think 99.9% of men will be mad at that if they married for duty. If your main purpose was like, hey, look, I'm just doing this because you know that we need to get from this side of life to the other side of life, make sure our kids straight, I don't think most men will have a problem with that. There's a reason. Like, hold on, wait, let me finish. I think because again, I think if long as most men were getting what they were supposed to get from, like, that's what I mean by duty. She married for duty and she respected her man the way she was supposed to, and she did the things that she was supposed to do within that marriage. I don't think most men would be like, man, but I swear, man, she don't love me unconditionally, bro. I don't think most men would give a fuck. They'd be like, hey, my wife doing what she's supposed to do. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. We getting on down the road.
Sweeney, I feel like that's how people get in situations where they talk about my wife withholding sex and weaponizing sex.
But that's what I said. She's supposed to. When she does what she's supposed to do.
Okay.
Yeah,
but
that's
clarify what she's supposed to do for me, so I can make sure. Like I'm hearing, and I'm like, nah, I have issues.
I got the video too.
All right, you go ahead.
And Sweeney, nah, what you see, Sweeney, you being real pragmatic about what we're trying to get men to understand today. I think historically, men, like when you say, well, almost all men would want a woman to just do what she's supposed to do. No, men historically wanted women to love me for me. I want a woman that loves me for me. I want somebody that's going to find out and get to know me, not what I got, not what, that's what men have been doing. And a lot of guys still think that way. The duty thing is something that we're trying to get men to understand now, Sweeney. I think that's a message it's certainly a message I'm trying to sell men. It's like, yo, man, don't get so caught up on I mean, hell, you brought up Chris Rock's statement. Men are not loved unconditionally, but so many men want to be loved unconditionally, like the dog and the kids.
I guess
I don't
that's
know if I agree with that one, Queen. I don't know if I agree with that one. I think that's where we need to get men to start thinking and realize, yo, man, understand that you have a role, she has a role, and you guys have a goal to get to, and everybody do their job, and then you should be happy with that. Whereas a lot of men historically is like, man, I need my woman to be into me because you just love me because I'm Shannon. And
I will say this, Shannon. I agree with you. I agree with you on that. I think that's what a lot of men used to be. And then they started getting that, then found out that love is fleeting with women when it comes to us. Then we found out like, oh, that's why I said I think 99% of men today would be like, they'd be cool with it because now we understand what a woman just loving us actually looks like. They love you today, hate you tomorrow.
But y'all both talking about Generation X, right? Shan, you referring to Generation X when you talk about that? Yeah. Okay. I just want to make sure.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and get it. Then we got it right this time. Stop being addicted to sex.
Thing I want you to do is stop being addicted to sex. I know that's crazy, right? Because everybody tell you to smash all the day long. They lying to you. When you give yourself away, because most people don't even say this. Just as much as they say women are giving away their bodies, I teach my boys that you're giving away your body too. You got all these soul ties with all these different people too as a man. And then when it comes time to be faithful to a woman, you don't have the habitual habit of knowing how to love one woman because you have created an identity based on who you sleep with, not who you know. You based your identity on how many people you knock down instead of the one person you can love. And let me say this, I'm going to get haters when I say this. The best player in the world is one who can love one woman, in my humble opinion. Because that's the hardest job. The hardest job is to get to know somebody, to be personally present. See, I'm going to say it this way. You can either be perverted or you can be present. A perverted man is going to always look for something new. After he has sex, after he sleeps with the woman, he's going to move on to somebody else. And it's going to be a revolving door. What people don't tell you is you're actually destroying yourself just as much as you're destroying the young ladies that you're sleeping with. I probably lost a lot of you right then and there. Guess what I would say? You won't reach the pinnacle of your success in your life until you get your sexuality under control. And I'm not talking sexuality as far as identity, genders. I'm talking about sexuality as far as lust, as far as always wanting to have somebody to sleep with. Because think about this. Nobody says it this way, but I'm going to say it in a way that might offend you. But I want you to be challenged. I want you to be all the way mad with me, right? As a man, if all you want to do is go in and sleep with a woman and then get up and leave, that shows how much of a man you really are. Because at the end of the day, if I go into somebody's bedroom, the most intimate space of their life, if I go into their body, because men are givers, women are receivers. So if I go into an intimate place of somebody's life, and that's the only thing I'm there for is to get an orgasm, I have failed as a man. Because I want to say something that nobody likes to say. There is no such thing as casual sex. Have you ever heard of casual AIDS? A casual STD with occasional itching and scratching and a high level of burning. No. So there's nothing casual about sex. I don't know why people lie to us and do that. That's why when some of you dummies say, oops, you know you're lying.
All right, shout out to Draymond Green. Stop being addicted to sex. Stop being addicted to sex. I'm going to go ahead and start with you first. Marcus, go ahead, Marcus.
I didn't know they made a black 40-year-old version. This dude, man. I just don't get it, right? Like, for his argument to be sound, it would mean that we're naturally just monogamous and we don't have to work at that. Like, because he's making the summation that that men are ingrained supposed to just be this way. No, it's something that we have to work on in order to be what society dictates that we need to be. So I think he's completely off on that. I also think it's crazy for him to say that if I give you, if like what do you say, we're creating soul ties with all these different women. I personally don't think that that's how that works. I because casual sex is never been bad to me. If that's failing, well, I failed and happily fail a lot. So I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say to that. I disagree with everything he said except for you have to be in control of your lust. Now that I do agree with. You had, like, once you're in control of what your words, your finances, and where you stick your thing, then you solve like 99% of your problems. I do believe that. But outside of that, I can't get down with the rest of that. I just can't.
All right, we're gonna go to James, then we'll go to Rella. Go ahead, James.
Man, honestly, what I took from it, I think he's talking about a bigger point because most people in jail is because of a woman, right? But why they in jail? Because they were chasing booty. You know what I'm saying? So if we, since we're so addicted in this age of getting so many, getting all the things that you want, a lot of us have put a lot of energy into being able to attract the women rather than, you know what I mean, starting your own company or putting that energy into your job and trying to progress. And a lot of guys are just doing the things just to make sure they kind of getting with the women rather than trying to be productive citizens and stuff and taking care of their families. So I think that's the greater point where he was talking to. I don't like Mark said, I don't know about the soul ties and all that type of stuff because I don't agree with that. But I think his major point was, hey, we have to stop chasing all this type of stuff, and we got to become the men that we once were, and in past previous generations, so we can get our families back in order, and they can see that a great example that we provide for them. So,
All right, go ahead, Rella.
Oh, James, you pulled all that out of there? I ain't here. JR, why you torture us making us listen to what that dude was babbling, man? Man, that sound like some cackling hen talk, man. That's why I say these dudes, man, the worst thing they could have did was create these microphones and cameras and put them in front of anybody. Because everybody just saying a whole bunch of nothing, man. They big fluffy words that amount to nothing. None of what dude was spitting. Any shorty that I talk to, my sons or nephews or any of these shorties that I talk to, ain't nobody hearing nothing he said. And it sounded like that was his intended audience. Like, I agree. I think what I heard was men should be disciplined. That's the only thing I agree with. And I ain't gonna say nothing else because I don't want to be disrespectful on what dude was doing. But God, dog, man, don't torture us with no bullshit like that again, JR, man.
Come on.
Go ahead, Trey.
So I kind of wanted to go over what, just defining it real quick. So addiction is considered, a chronic relapsing disorder characterized by compulsive, generally in drugs, despite adverse consequences, right? It's considered a brain disorder because it involves functional changes to the brain involved in the reward system, stress, and self-control. So by that, he's correct, right? We should not be addicted to sex. So, and on that part, he's right. However, as far as us having casual sex, he couldn't be further from the truth. In all honesty, I've exercised plenty of casual sex, and it has not been problematic for me in the slightest bit. It has only helped me, in my humble opinion, as far as dealing with future women. I'm sure you can do different things and have a good outcome, but what worked for me, that worked for me, and I'm just fine. It always did well for me. I don't have any trauma. The fool just said soul ties. You could keep that one. Soul ties? Okay. Whatever. If that, do you know how many souls? Like, come on. I'd be Shang Tsung right now. And I would not be a sound mind. I'd be out of my mind right now, right? If that were true, if I really grabbed bits and pieces from some of the individuals that I rolled around with, I'd be in some serious trouble. We'll just say that. I'll leave it there with that. But Yeah, he couldn't be further from the truth. It doesn't have the same effect emotionally or spiritually as it does to women for most men. Right now, if you are a man that maybe you have a scarcity mindset, it's different. It affects men in different ways. But I know for me, no problem. It didn't hurt my ability to be faithful to one woman long term at all. It just was something that, I did because I had access to it. And I'm chilling now and there's no problem. I don't think it has any adverse effects on my current relationship now. Yeah, not at all. So yeah, he's off the mark with that one.
Go ahead, Professor Carl.
I heard sexual discipline and a bunch of bullshit that followed it. Basically,
What?
it, it's, I agree with brother from Chicago, man. That certain this whole concept of social media leveling the playing field, we need to go back to like when you can just like send a letter into the editor for a newspaper, and that's the only way the public got to hear your opinion. Because certain people just shouldn't be just speaking in all the pandering. You know what I'm saying? We have enough issues with pandering to to women already. Women already have moved the goalposts to the point where they we have to go 80 yards to meet them halfway at the 20-yard line. And to have this concept and have this notion pushed over and over again about how men and women respond emotionally to situations is total bullshit. When psychologically we're not even wired that way. So, I'm just going to leave it at that.
Go ahead, brother. He-
Yeah, sex addicted. Damn. I think he's talking to a small group of people, a small group of men, because we always talk about these guys ain't getting no ass. Talk about these incels. I mean, so that wouldn't be the case if it was sex addiction. They'd be out here doing something, out here paying for something, out here tricking on something, but that's not the case. So look here, I'm addicted to having sex with my lady, my future wife.
Bruh.
I hope that's not a problem, according to him. I mean, now, if I was out here just humping on everything, that's my choice. I'm rolling the dice, taking a chance, like with the thing he said, STDs, taking a chance on getting a tech kid pregnant. Yeah, those are penitentiary chances I definitely don't want to take. So I'm gonna make sure I go in there, make sure I cover up. Did I knock some shit down when I was young? Yeah, I did. And some I regret because I had some scallywags I knew I should have tapped in with. But
hell yeah.
drought season's real, and cats had to get what they had to get. So, I did what I had to do. I took some for the team. I was at that. I think it was Trev talking about the wingman one time. I had to be the wingman, and it was some heavyweights in there. I ain't gonna lie, some wide backs. But look, I don't think I was addicted. I was just out here having fun, enjoying life. I didn't come out with no STDs. I came out with a daughter, a blessing. But I'm okay with that. You know what I'm saying? I came out with a wife, and me and my wife had my son. I'm okay with that. And I was still out there sexing her up at some point. But now, so I moved on. But yeah, being addicted to sex, man, I don't understand, my man. But hey, man, get your money, get your bag. You're gonna have a lot of sisters gonna be snapping their fingers. Y'all do, what y'all do, and like y'all in them damn poetry readings, doing that bullshit. But fuck it. Get your money, dog. Keep selling dreams to these motherfucking heifers. They'll buy. I'm not doing it.
Shout to all the wingmen out there, man.
God damn, right on.
Look,
y'all think that guy? Do y'all think he actually had the experience to even be able to make those claims?
Possible.
Hell no.
It's possible. I'm gonna say this. I'm coming from where he came from. How the fuck you gonna be addicted to some shit you barely even get? Who are you talking to? Who are you talking to? Because and the thing is even if you are talking to the motherfuckers that get sex on a regular basis, let's just assume that you are. Again, who are you talking to? Because the motherfucker, because there's only women only find what 20% of men actually attractive. The other 80% are invisible until they do something. So that means even if a dude is getting a lot of ass, he has to do a whole lot of shit to get ass. He's producing, he making money, he doing shit for other people, he stand out, he doing this, he over there. So even a man that gets a lot of women is doing a lot of shit in society to even be able to attract the women to even get them. So who are you talking to? The average man doesn't get ass like that if they don't even get addicted to ass. They got maybe one chick at any given time. They're not juggling women left and right. This dude, like, and again, I think Professor Carlton hit the nail on the head. Chicago really is a bunch of bullshit. You pandering. You trying to make what men do the same thing as what women do. Like, it's not the same. It's not the same. We not out here. Most men ain't out here getting it like that for us to even have this conversation about being addicted to sex. And the ones that are getting it, unless you're attractive enough and you stand out like that, you already have to do a lot of shit in society to even get that kind of ass. I think, what did they say? Even the best players on the planet, the ones with the bet, their success rate is still only 10%. They can still only
pickup artists. Pickup artists 10%. Yep.
The best pickup artists still only have a success rate of 10%. You talking about sex addiction amongst men?
But I think if he's talking about the small, like we was talking about Pookies and Ray Ray, we just talking about that small generation, not generation, but that small group of people. So that's why I made my comment, because that's what we was talking about. But like the regular guy, like y'all saying, like, nah, they ain't getting it like that. But the ones that are addicted to it, you got an issue, bro.
But like, even if you want to talk about Pookie and Ray Ray, right? Let's just talk about Pookie and Ray Ray. They Pookie and Ray Ray. Like, come on, man. You gonna go over there? You gonna waste all your time trying to talk to Pookie and Ray Ray? They ain't gonna listen to you anyway. Why? Because
that's the highlight of their lives. That's the highlight of their lives, pretty much. They're not producing or anything that you mentioned earlier. That's the highlight of their lives. So damn straight they're gonna keep doing it. That's the only thing they are cooking at.
Have y'all ever tried to try to tell a man how to deal with women who get more women than you? Have y'all ever tried to talk to a man about how to deal with women who get more women than you?
That was my point.
They do not. They're gonna be like, bro, how the hell you gonna tell me about some shit that you don't get what I get? The first thing they're gonna tell you is, hey, you can talk all that shit you want, but the bitches like it. That's the first thing they're gonna say to you. How you gonna tell somebody how to deal with women when you don't get as many women as them? You can't talk to them. So if a Pookie is out there bagging all the chicks, how you gonna talk to him? You're gonna tell, hey, Pookie, you doing it all wrong. Meanwhile, you struggling to get ass.
It's like the third string quarterback going to the coach saying, I think you need to run this play.
Come on, man.
Well, just the word sex addicted, man. You know, what I see when I see somebody with a sex addiction, somebody's creeping out at the goddamn peep show, the novelty stores, you know, hanging out at the goddamn strip club all the goddamn time. That's what I'm thinking. Motherfuckers just dying to get some ass. Any way to get their shit off, that's what they doing. Not somebody who's out there getting some steady flow of ass. I wouldn't consider them sex addicted. Man, not me. I'm just saying.
Go ahead, Shan.
Shan about to come out and talk to the Pookies and Ray Rays. Here we go.
Nah. I think y'all being hard on old boy. I think you guys are being a little hard on him. Listen, I get it. I too don't like it when people exaggerate to get their point across, and that's clearly what he was doing. You know, he was looking for his viral moment and shit. Everybody's out there looking for their viral moment, and that's what it sounded like. He was using a lot of big words that he didn't need to use, talking long and exaggerating just to get his point across. But there's two things that he was talking about, and I think he had 2 points that were conflated. One, he's talking about, you know, like for instance, we talking about stop being addicted to sex, but his overreaching point was dick discipline. I don't think anybody here has unless I'm the only one. I think that we all should have some dick discipline. No, I thought that's one of our consensus points of being a stoic in control and logical man is to have some discipline and not to be out here just slaying. And I get it. I know Hink was knocking them down. He was knocking down them big ones, you know, and Trev got his history with the big ones too. I ain't forget that show, Trev.
Hey, that was only about 5%. We're just gonna, you know, like it was about 5%. Just so you know.
Nevertheless, he still contributed to the delinquency of the dick. And so, but the point is, discipline is what I got out of his message. And he's when and he's out there, he's saying, listen, if we gonna be don't just be out there just fucking any and everything. Now you guys are saying, well, anybody getting pussy. See, sex is more than just have it. Okay, the number 9 and 10 website in the world is X videos and Pornhub. So even men that may not be actually having sexual intercourse with women can still be addicted to sex because they're jacking off. And the numbers prove that out. I mean, this number 9 and 10 website in the world. Porn tells us that men are addicted to sex, whether they're fucking somebody or not. And so if you got to the point where, and then you got the guys that are having sex, but they don't give a fuck who they fuck. They'll fuck they fuck the 2s, the 3, they fuck everybody on the scale from 1 to 10. They will fuck themselves out of a job. They at the workhouse. He a forklift driver at Home Depot, and he's fucking all the girls in the garden department, and he's fucking the girls and all the cashiers. Y'all in retail at Target, everybody's fucking everybody because you got that one male employee that looks half decent, and he just smashing all. There's a lot of men that don't have dick discipline, and that's one thing that we're trying to get men to get under control. And I just think that that's what he was trying to say with his long, exaggerated speech. Now, what I don't agree with is the being addicted to sex part. I'm with Hink on that one. See, I listen. Humans evolved sex to feel good, and Hink said he wants to be addicted to fucking his girl as often as possible. I think I agree with that. I don't think that we should be addicted to fucking a whole bunch of different women. I think that's a delinquency of your body. But screw your girl as often as possible, fellas. As much as you can for as long as you can. Be addicted in that sense. And I know Trev pulled up the definition of addiction. But even if it's like, I can't do without, it's okay to not be able to do without that with your woman. You don't drink too much. Don't smoke too much. Don't eat too much. No gluttony. There's certain things in life that we should not be addicted to. Don't be addicted to sugar. Don't be addicted to Coca-Cola. A lot of you guys that's listening is addicted to Sprite, Coca-Cola, Dr. Pepper, Mountain Dew.
Smoke weed every day.
But it's okay to be addicted it's okay to be addicted to fucking your wife, fellas. Fuck her as much as you possibly can for as long as you possibly can. And I don't. So I think he put up this "Don't be addicted to sex" as a headline, as a clickbait per se, to come in and say ultimately men need to have some dick discipline, and I agree with that. And I think y'all banging on my man. I don't even know the guy. It's the first time I ever saw him, but you banging on him a little hard, guys. Don't you guys agree that men should have some dick discipline?
I will say this, Shannon. Porn would not be the number one website. These websites would not be the number one website if all men had a steady influx of ass. It wouldn't even be the number one site. It's because they not getting no ass that they gotta watch it. And if you watch, if you run one out once a day, let's go put the numbers up.
Hey, Shan. Hey, Shan.
Pornhub is some of these niggas' wives.
If I ever get locked up, Shan, I want you to shoot me as much bail as you shooting the old boy right now, man.
Facts.
Shout out to you. Shout out to you, Shan.
JR, you should play the video again and then ask Shan the same question to see how you feel about it.
That was a long video.
Yeah, it was.
I watched the video. I watched his exaggerating. I watched everything that he said, but he's basically saying if you're gonna be out there fucking, have some discipline on who you fuck. Because and y'all know, some of y'all are on the panel, but y'all know people that's out there just fucking whoever will give him some pussy. How many fellas can say, "Nah, I'm not fucking you"? Say, "Come on, I want to fuck," and you say, "Nah, I'm good." I was that nigga, and I'm sure some of you guys were that dude that'd be like, yeah, I'm good, I'm cool. But a lot of men would be like, you want to fuck me? Oh, okay. And that's where the discipline is lost. A lot of guys will not turn down sex. This is why we say it's easy for women to get a man. It's hard for her to keep one. But she gets one using her sexuality, because a woman can organize a gangbang in a couple hours. She'll have 5 niggas knocking on her door ready to fuck. That's wild. We should not be one of those guys that will show up for her gangbang if she calls. But a lot of guys will. A lot of guys will wait their turn to fuck. You fucked your man? Okay, oh, I'll pull up tomorrow. Sloppy seconds, the whole 9. We got all the terms. So that's all I'm thinking. And if I'm bailing him out in Chicago, I'm bailing him out, because I believe that men should have some dick discipline. Just what I think.
There you go.
It's hard to tell a man in the desert that ain't got no water that he should turn down the water. And he like if a chick offers, and you were like, hey man, you should say no to that chick. He was like, man, I ain't had no ass in 6 months.
Be addicted to sex. I'm okay with being addicted to sex, based on the context that we're using. Be addicted to fucking. But do you have to fuck all the girls? Do you gotta fuck all the girls at your job? Do you gotta fuck all the girls in your apartment complex? Do you gotta fuck all of the girls at the club every week? That's what I think he was ultimately saying. Because a lot of guys will. And a lot of guys that can will. That's all I think.
I agree with you to a degree, Shannon, but I will say this though: the people that if we're talking about the people that he's talking about, the ones that have smashed anything and everything, there ain't nothing you can say to those men that's gonna make them do, because they already jacked up. They don't just fuck jacked up. They live jacked up. They work jacked up. Like, you're not gonna be able to say nothing to them, and more than likely, they probably getting more ass than he is. And you cannot tell a man that you get less ass than how to move when it comes to getting ass. He is not gonna listen to you. He's gonna be like, nigga,
until his life is fucked up.
Until his life is fucked up.
Until his life is fucked up, and then he turns 40, and then he's saying, then he's all of a sudden a life coach, and he's on tour doing shows talking about how he used to be this motherfucker back in the day. How many people we know that's like that? And so if we really trying to build teams, and if we really trying to make motherfuckers be better, we really talking to the youth, saying, look, man, you don't have to fuck all the girls in high school. You don't have to. You don't got to fuck them all under the bleachers on the Friday night football game. But you don't have to be that guy, because we did that shit back in the day. That's not necessarily something that I think that you should do. And that's what. So if that's who, and I get what you're saying, we're not gonna change the old school, the old niggas. They're done. There's nothing we can do about them, Sweeney. I agree. But there's some people. There is a certain demographic of men that we can help, and we don't want them to necessarily make the same mistakes that a lot of people like Trev did. We don't want them all knocking down the big girls like him.
You go try to
big girl with
put that on me. That's all good. And listen, I never did that on my own recognizance. It was always because I was wingman. That, you know what I'm saying? So there was a great cause for us, for the greater good. It was a cause. It wasn't just because I felt like doing that. It was like I understood the assignment. I understood the assignment, and that's what it do. So, but let me ask you this, Shannon. Do you have a problem with the cats that's on P-Hub for real? Because I understand addiction, but when I say addiction, okay, yeah. So the guys that just stay there and do their thing? Because some of these guys ain't got none at all. They got access to nothing, and they're socially awkward. They got a lot of problems, well overweight, and quite frankly, probably shouldn't procreate. So I feel like they're just not bothering anybody with what they're doing. So why not just let them do what it do?
Those guys who are, again, those guys that you're talking about, if they were to get a girlfriend that will give him sex, then I'm gonna tell them fuck her as often as he can.
His point
again, that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying.
But they can't. They can't. They can't. There's some dudes that will never get a woman, right? I know some of these guys, man. I'm telling you, some people, there's no hope, man. When I say socially awkward, I mean for real. Like bad, acne-ridden, super fat, don't know how to talk to people, like hold their head down, like everything's wrong, and it's very.
We can get
Go
them
ahead.
together though. We can get those dudes together.
I've helped as many as possible. But there's always gonna be some dudes that just ain't gonna get it, man. I'm talking about they real bad off, man. Some of these dudes ain't gonna get it, man. There's some dudes that ain't gonna get it. I promise you. Some of these dudes that I met, you can't help them all, and I try to help them most. Just like you said, you can't talk to them, the Pookies and Ray Rays, because they in their bag. Ain't nothing you could do with them. There's some dudes that are just really in trouble, man. And I help as many as I can, but we can't reach them all, man. And until they could, get their life better and work that out, man. Just let him be on P-Hub, man.
I wasn't even talking about the guy with that. I'm not even talking about the guy that can't get no woman. That's another extreme. Like, there's an extreme to say that there's a guy that can't, because most average men can do something about themselves to become to at least get one chick. Like, most average men can do something to get one chick, and they within shouting distance of it. I'm not talking about like the old boy who's like a 40-year-old virgin. Most men are gonna be 40-year-old virgins. Like, but I will say this, and I agree with Shannon on this. Pornhub is most niggas' wise at this time. You know what I mean? I ain't mad at it, man. Sometimes, hey, look, if rubbing one out beats happen to deal with crazy ass women, rub one out, because shit, I'd rather go in the toilet than go in her crazy ass. And next thing you know, you get a crazy ass baby raised by a crazy ass woman, and then you scratching your head wondering what the hell I did. So go ahead, rub one out, throw it in the toilet, keep it moving.
All right, with that being said, we got one more. All right, Professor. And we have one more topic, Professor. What's one more topic?
Okay, I got you.
All right, here we go. Red Pill Ranger $5 says you can't tell a man with 10 successful businesses how to run a business when you don't have any, or maybe one. So to you, sir, for that. Let's go ahead and get to this last topic, the main topic, which is conflict can actually be beneficial for your relationship. Let's go ahead and play this clip. What the hell is going on here, man?
Look at Jesus.
Nah, something going wrong here, man. Let me cue him up again.
Hey, JR, while you doing that, I don't know why the chat being so disrespectful with these likes right now, man. We got 155 people in here, 82 likes, man. Hit the like button, fam. What's wrong with you, man?
Hit the like button, man. It's simple, man. Hit the like button. Let me see where we are.
Relationships that anyone will ever have is going to be with someone that they've conflicted with. I've heard it illustrated as like when you break metal, when you weld that back, the weld is actually stronger than the metal itself. And I think that's sometimes a beautiful picture of what happens with relationships, of the people that I've been to war with, the people that I've experienced conflict with. Like, those are the people that I trust the most. And so when someone tells me like, oh, we've been married 23 years, we've never fought, I never put that in the positive category. I'm like, man, that sounds really surface level. Like, do you guys know each other? Like, because if you're doing life on life with somebody, it's messy. You know what I mean? And so any two people that go deep and have a real relationship are going to experience conflict. And so it's an opportunity. I mean, conflict is an opportunity to deepen that relationship. The healthiest relationships that anyone will ever have is going to be with someone that they've conflicted with. I've heard it illustrated as like when you break metal, when you weld that back, the weld is actually stronger than the metal itself. And I think that's sometimes a beautiful picture of what happens with relationships, of the people that I've been to war with, the people that I've experienced conflict with. Like, those are the people that I trust the most. And so when someone tells me like, oh, we've been married 23 years, we've never fought, I never put that in the positive category. I'm like, man, that sounds really surface level. Like, do you guys know each other? Like, because if you're doing life on life with somebody, it's messy. You know what I mean? And so any two people that go deep and have a real relationship are going to experience conflict. And so it's an opportunity. I mean, conflict is an opportunity to deepen that relationship.
All right. Can conflict actually be beneficial for your relationship? Go ahead, Trev.
I'll say it definitely can be, right? You'll definitely have a better understanding of each other, right? Once you have some disagreements, you see how they are with conflict resolution. And a lot of times that's when you're the most truthful, right? So you'll really get to know a person and you'll be able to gauge how much a person actually respects you, depending on how far they take it. And you'll overall just have a much better understanding of each other in most cases, right? There are some situations where, that conflict is going to result in a breakup, right? Most of us have had that type of situation. And some people you don't want to mess with them no more after that. Like, okay, this is not where it's at. So I could say that's true for the most part because, if you don't have any conflicts, like he was saying, I mean, that's unrealistic because you're going to have different ideas. And if you never, ever have some type of conflict, then you start to wonder like, damn, is this person even being truthful or are they afraid to speak their mind? And, that means they don't even trust how I'm going to react to it if they're not being truthful. So I would say he's right on that.
All right. Go ahead, James.
Appreciate it. So honestly, I think I agree. You have to be able to challenge points. That's another way to build trust in your relationship. They always say iron sharpens iron. So you want your spouse to be sharp as just like you. So when y'all going through that conflict, y'all kind of building with one another, and it's in a respectful way. It's not no disrespectful way and stuff. Because a lot of people take that conflict as being disrespectful rather than y'all just disagreeing on this topic and y'all trying to meet and trying to flush a lot of the things out. And a lot of times y'all most likely will come to the same agreement if y'all do flush it out. And you always want your spouse to be on that same level or even greater if you could possibly can, so they can always be a team player and help you out. So I agree.
All right. Go ahead, Professor.
Well, I agree to an extent that there needs to be, because you're never going to agree with anybody. You shouldn't be with somebody that agrees with you 100% of the time. I wouldn't trust her. I wouldn't eat none of her cooking. She couldn't make me nothing to drink. Be honest with you, but at the same time, um, there's a difference between having conflict and dealing with somebody that's toxic, and sometimes there's a gray area there. And I think because sometimes the conflict, you have to see a person in all four seasons before you can understand if you can deal with them or not, and if they can deal with you. And a lot of times, we never get to that stormy season to address that issue, to address those issues, or even to see those issues. That's been masked because people show you their representative before, and they can show you that for a whole year before you actually see the real them. And sometimes you don't even need to be having conflict with that person. You can just be observing them having conflict. Now, I've personally been through a few situations where women have had conflict in their lives, and it derailed whatever we were trying to build in this life together. So, I'll deal with a conflict here and there if we're trying to resolve it. But at the same time, if it's toxic or if she's a perpetual shit tester, like she likes to just shit test you all the time, just to test your boundaries, and she consistently testing your boundaries, then that's a dangerous situation, and I have to kick her to the curb.
All right. Go ahead, Hank. Let me go to Rilla.
Man, I think it depends on the conflict, and it for sure definitely depends on the woman, because we've seen some women that you get into a conflict with, you think you have it resolved and moved on past, and every argument she brings that bullshit up and throw it in your goddamn face. So now I gotta fight an old argument with this new goddamn argument. Bullshit. But you got individuals like that. So, like I said, it depends on the conflict. Most conflicts you should be able to get through with your wife. Probably the one I ain't gonna never be able to get past is cheating. That's one conflict. It's no comeback from that. We wasting our goddamn time. We just need to go our separate ways. So, but yeah, I believe that. You know, you can definitely benefit from some conflict. Because like I said, it can galvanize the relationship in a positive way. So yeah, I agree with that.
All right, go ahead, Rilla.
Man, I'm glad I had a chance to sit with this for a little bit, and I still don't think I'm gonna be able to articulate my point fully how I want to, man. This some bullshit, bro. Like, what the fuck we talking about? Can some conflict be beneficial to my relationship? I don't need to conflict and argue and fight with my woman or whatever to validate my relationship. What I need is, when hard times hit, are you in the foxhole with me? Can I count on you with some shit going down? Like, you know, are you riding with me? That type of conflict, like us against the world conflict, yeah. Me against her, we resolve our differences or something like that, or hammering out a conversation. Because to me, that's just conversation. You know what I'm saying? We just set the ground rules in this house on how we deal with those type of situations. But I don't need to have conflict with her in order to validate what we have. What we have needs to be tested in the world, right? And that gives me some, you know, some sense of where we are. But yeah, man, it's some bullshit, Jay. Fuck.
Well, Rilla, that's why I said it depends on what kind of conflict.
I get it. I know, but when we talking in these spaces, and this is what I done learned. We do that whole, it doesn't against you, Hank, but we do the whole, it depends on this, depend on that. When the females do it, we on their head top. So I done learned just to stay right there and give it the straight on how I feel it, how I see it in the moment, bro. But I know we humans and life is life, and so yeah, I understand that.
But you know, it's men. Me and you can get into an argument tomorrow. We good. You won't throw that shit in my face. I won't throw that shit in my face. We moved on past this. But guess what? That woman you call your wife or your lady, she throwing that shit in there every other weekend. Remember when you said this? Remember how you felt the way about this? Remember what you said about my mother? Fuck your mama.
So wait, so how is that beneficial to the relationship then?
What's that? To tell her your mama cooking sucks? That heifer ain't gonna be cooking our damn Thanksgiving, Christmas dinner no goddamn more. Until she might be putting antifreeze in that goddamn food for all I know, trying to kill me out. We collect that insurance check. Hell no, your mama can't cook. She sucks.
Hank, you light skinned with dark skin tendencies, man.
God damn, is that what it is?
God damn. I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. I don't think conflict is beneficial nor non-beneficial, if that's even a word. I think it's inevitable. At some point, I know he said something along the lines of he's heard people say that they've never had a disagreement or a fight in their relationship, and he said he don't trust those people. I don't believe those people. There ain't never every single person that has ever said that in my life. If you stick around them long enough, and it don't take long for you to see it, they have a conflict with their woman. It'd be subtle too. Like they say, like y'all playing spades at the table, and she does something wrong, and they have a conflict over there. You be like, oh, I thought you said y'all don't fight. Like it's inevitable. There's no way you get from one end of life to the other end of life with one person, and y'all live in the same house under the same roof, doing the same shit. And you mean to tell me y'all ain't never had no conflict? Now I'm with Hank where I say it depends on what the conflict is, how it came about, and also how you handle it, whether it can be beneficial or detrimental. That's the word I was looking for, detrimental. That's where the water get muddy. But outside of that, no, conflict is inevitable. There is no way you're going to make it from one end of life to the other and never have a conflict. It's a matter of fact, I was going to say it's nearly impossible. No, it is impossible. And I don't trust nobody who tells me, anybody who's gone 30 years and they come to try to give me relationship advice and say, hey, me and my wife have never had a conflict. Okay, yeah, you full of shit.
All right, go ahead, Marcus.
I'm 14 years in. Me and my wife never had a conflict.
You are full of shit. You are full of shit.
Thanks for bringing me up, Lapeef. I'm out, man.
You are full of shit.
Hey, you want to know why? You want to know why? I think conflict arises from power dynamics, right? And if it's a established healthy power dynamic, you don't have to fight with your wife because she trusts you and she going along. Even if you got a bad plan or decision, she riding with you. And then when you figure it out, you know, y'all talking through how it's gonna go and all this stuff. Conflict does not have to happen. It creates contention in a relationship. When I hear a man talking about she bust my windows out, she stabbed me before, she called the police, she argued with me all the time, she want to fight me for liking pictures. All of that stuff don't create a healthy relationship. That create the situation where the man sit in the car for 45 minutes before they go in the house. That's not what, like, I love coming home. I love being in the house with my family. I love the energy that I have going on. I just got beef cavatappi, or however you say this stuff. It was excellent. And we 14 going up 15 years in with 3 kids, and it should be real. It's smooth, bro. We don't gotta fight about nothing, man. What is there to fight about?
Where your wife from?
Humble Park.
I don't know what that is. What?
Brother, she from Chicago.
Man, bullshit. Yeah. Bullshit. Oh,
hey,
that's some bullshit.
Hey, hold on. Hey, babe, I know you watching. Could you come here for a second?
Hey, wait, JR. He said he got him one from Humboldt Park. G. hey, Marcus, she throwing up the rakes.
Hey, you met my wife, really?
Yeah. Solid.
Do it look like she be fighting with me?
Nah.
I'm gonna tell you this too. I love coming home too. I love coming home too. And I can tell you right now, I'd be full of shit if I said, man, my wife never had conflict. And I love coming home. I don't sit in the car and contemplate what the hell I'm gonna do. Like, I don't do nothing. I come in with a smile on my face. I be coming in the house on 2 wheels, and I will be lying my ass off if I said me and my wife have never had a conflict. And we've been together for 12 years. No. Has it been 10, 11, 12, 14 years? I think married for 3, together for 10, 13 years. We've been together for 13 years, and I'll be lying my ass. I still come in on 2 wheels, but I will be lying my ass off if I told y'all, man, my wife never had conflict. I'm sorry, Marcus. I'll call
we in the same numbers.
I'm going to flag on the play.
We in around the same time frame, bro. So one of the things about me is I really don't want to argue with nobody, right? I really don't. That's not something I enjoy. As a matter of fact, I got excellent conflict resolution skills, and I can articulate my point. Plus, I understand how to have interpersonal communication, especially with somebody that claim they love me. And then when women in the relationship I'm in, I have your soul. You belong to me. We're not about to be fighting with each other. There is no struggle in the power dynamic. Hey, you are mine, and you embrace that fully. And with that, you're not fighting me. You loving me. That's all we got going on.
You said you got excellent what skills?
What, conflict resolution?
Operative word, conflict.
There is no conflict though. I'm speaking in general. Like, I don't be like, look at these panels, right? I'll be in some
how would you know that you got great conflict resolution skills if you don't have no conflicts?
I'm explaining it now. I'll be in super contentious situations, right? Super contentious where people be going crazy. I sit there, I be chilling. And then I will lower the tone of the room and have a conversation with somebody that's irate and erratic. And then that's with people who don't love me that I'm just interacting with online. For somebody that love me, we never getting to the point of conflict. We're gonna have healthy communication. It's borders and parameters around what we need to discuss. And if it's ever a point where we would come to something that could be even a minor like issue, let's take a second. There's no conflict. Where conflict does not need to exist. We don't have to fight each other. We can step away and come back to a conversation if it's something that seems a little fishy. But I'm not fighting with her. I love that woman. What the fuck I'm fighting her for?
You don't have to.
So that's still a conflict, though.
You don't have to raise your voice.
Still a conflict.
You don't have to yell.
Define conflict, because I looked up the definition and it said a serious disagreement, argument, typically a protracted. We have never had an argument ever.
But y'all disagree.
You can have a disagreement, and that's a conflict. You don't have it don't have to be elevated to the point of you ripping each other apart, nothing like that. Just differences of opinion. Y'all can't agree.
The examples y'all gave and the example he gave was bending metal and all this. When I say disagree, I mean I'm talking about like And this is the thing, she gonna defer to whatever I say. If she come here right now, she gonna be like, no, if whatever her idea is, she tell me, and I'll be like, nah, that's not what we want to do. We gonna do what I want to do. I'm
Well,
gonna do
shout
what's
out
best for the
to your
family,
wife.
but that's how this
Shout
fucking
out to you,
relationship works. That's how this family works. It doesn't have to go no other way. And I specifically set it up that way so I don't have to end up in divorce or have to be co-parenting. I'm specifically living my life just like that for that
sound
reason.
like? I'll wash your drawers. I'll pay your rent. I'll do anything. As soon as I come home from work.
You said I'm tripping? My nigga.
Shannon.
Oh, man.
That Sweeney butchered that song, man.
Oh,
Hey, Mark,
Marcus, the only thing I'm saying, the only thing we're saying is like, all right, if you had an instance like where you said, all right, let's just take a second. That means that was a conflict. That's all we're saying. It seems like we're the bridge.
Example.
You just said that if you had something that has a potential to be contentious, right? Like then you would say, let's take a second. That point where you said, let's take a second, is where you're exercising your conflict resolution skills, meaning that you met with some type of a conflict, even if it's minor, right? We're not saying that you have blowouts or violence or even loud arguments, but conflict is inevitable, right? Because you're not thinking the same as another human, even if it's not detrimental to your relationship, right? At all. But if you said you had to take a second, then that right there is conflict resolution, right? That means you had some sort of a conflict, even if it was minor and you handled it well, and maybe it's still a conflict though.
Conflict will require some form of back and forth for it to be conflicted. Like what y'all are talking about, y'all trying to paint it whereas if she don't agree with everything, well, she mostly do agree with everything, but if she didn't agree with everything, then like I'm not understanding how the conflict occurred.
Marcus,
Like,
let me
that's
ask
what I
you
don't
this.
understand.
So let me, Marcus. So what you're describing is de-escalation. I think you have really good. I think what you're telling us is that you have really good de-escalation skills. Because everything when you were describing violence, motherfuckers fighting and breaking shit and doing all this other kind of stuff. And when you get into the room or when you get into these panels on the internet, or especially when you with your wife, it doesn't escalate into anything violent. It doesn't nobody's loud and hollering and screaming at each other. But you said she mostly agrees with you. That means that there's a percentage that she doesn't necessarily agree with you. Now, it may not be protracted, like you said. It may not go over a length of time, and that's what a conflict is. It's typically like a disagreement that goes over a length of time. It's like that's like in military terms, a conflict is where one country and another country disagrees on, and they have an embargo, or they disagree on oil, or maybe there's a territorial disagreement and they're fighting over that territory, and they have a conflict, a military conflict to see who's going to win that territory. It could be like I use all the examples. Maybe you want a BMW and she wants a Mercedes Benz. The thing is, and I think what everybody's trying to explain to you, Marcus, is just because she goes along with you predominantly and it doesn't turn into a fight doesn't mean that she's conceding to your decision willingly. I mean, she's gonna do it because she's your wife, but in her mind, she may be like, damn, that's not what I'd like to do. And she may even express to you, well, I don't want to do that, babe. And you say, well, why not? And she said, well, she gives her examples, and you may mull it over for a little while. Well, let me think on that. That's a conflict. It's a light one. It's not traditional. It's not no hands down fighting. And well, no, fuck that. This is what we doing. I don't want to do that. Yeah, you don't have that kind of household. But it's a conflict nonetheless. It's not a violent one. It's not crazy. It's not wild. And I think that's what everybody's saying. And so when Sweeney is saying that, when people say, yeah, man, I've gone 30 years and me and my wife has never had a fight. Well, you maybe never had it. Maybe you didn't. I think that's odd, personally. I think people have had fights and they don't like to describe it as such. Just like that lady on the internet said that women cheat, but they don't call it cheating. They like to attribute it to a different title so they can make it seem like they're not cheating, but they ultimately they did cheat. I think people have had fights or disagreements or arguments in their relationships, but they call it something else to make it feel better. But let's say, for instance, it is what it is. We haven't had a fight in 30 years. Are you telling me that you haven't had a disagreement in 30 years? Oh no, we've had disagreements. Did that disagreement go over a length of time, or was it solved in 5 minutes and it was done? And nobody had no problem. Well, no, she had an issue with it, but we didn't really argue about it. We kind of like, she just let it go. That's a conflict, period. And so those conflicts oftentimes bring people closer, in my personal opinion. To the video, I think it is kind of important, and it does bond people together. Before we go, like my ex-wife, when we were dating, she came to my house one day with a t-shirt that she found on Facebook, and it said Team Rawls.
What?
She pulled up as my girlfriend with a t-shirt that said Team Rawls that she ordered from Facebook for however she found it, just to impress me. And I thought that shit was dope as fuck. And everybody here that's had a woman knows something about their woman that they wouldn't want the world to know. You know something about your girl that you would not tell other people about. Your girl knows something about you that she would not tell some people about. Some of y'all got porn in your iPhone from you and your girl doing some freaky shit that even if y'all was to break up or get in an argument, you wouldn't release it. You wouldn't want anybody to see her like that. And that could be typically that right there can be something that's bonding people together. There's a movie I want everybody to watch. If you guys haven't seen it, Rilla probably seen it. It's a movie from 1999 with Brad Pitt and Anthony Hopkins. It's called Meet Joe Black. And in that movie, there's a scene where Joe Black, who's played by Brad Pitt, was talking to a character named Quince. And he asked him, he said, "Does your wife love you?" And he was like, "Yeah." He said, "Well, how do you know she loves you?" And he said, "Because she knows the worst things about me and it's okay." And because of that, conflicts that people have had, it brings motherfuckers together and it bonds their relationships. And it's like, yo, it's just me and you against the world. That's the whole, I think that came out of Chicago. I could be wrong. It's Chicago versus everybody. Is it Detroit versus it? My bad. It's Detroit versus everybody. That's where it originated. But from some of y'all, it's Lapeef versus everybody. It's Trev and his woman versus everybody. It's Sweeney and his wife versus everybody. It's you, Marcus. It's the whites versus everybody. And it's only because the whites have gone through some shit that nobody else would even fucking understand. And only you two understand it. And as a result of that, it's brought you guys together. And maybe in that understanding, there was some conflict at first. But now that you guys have worked through it, your relationship is stronger. So I agree with the video to it, to be honest with you. And I think it's really, now, if it's crazy and it's violent, then hell no, you got to go. But if you guys are mature and you can talk and you can get through the shit, and even though she doesn't want to move to the east side, you want to move downtown, and you guys work it out, and instead you settle for Midtown. Neither one of you guys wanted to live in Midtown. You wanted downtown. She wanted the west side or the east side, but you guys agreed to move Midtown. That conflict helped you guys' relationship become stronger. So I think it is important that people have a little bit of dissension in their relationships, resolve that shit, to have it within themselves to make them against the world.
I appreciate your opinion. I respectfully disagree. That is not those are all great points, and I can see the value of what you're saying, but that's not my experience. That's all I'm saying. And it may sound strange, but it's literally not my experience. It's probably the reason why I be like, I don't know if y'all look at my face sometimes, but when I hear the stories about some of the stuff that the brothers be going through or that happens to men, I can't relate, honestly, especially in the position of my relationship now. And not to be disrespectful to anybody else, because I'm not saying that I got a better situation anywhere, because truth be told, some people like conflict. Some people, it turns them on and they want that within their relationship. I am hyper extended on the other side of the fence where I don't want to deal with that shit at all. And if you understand that about me, you know exactly how we could talk about any and everything on the table, as long as we don't ever have that, and everything gonna be good. But I'm not. We trying to grow together. I put that energy into making us better, into having fun, laughing about something. I don't think we have to be in a negative. It just like, and I know what you were describing wasn't exactly negative, Shan. You were describing something positive to grow towards something. What I'm saying is we didn't really have to go through that type of a phase, right? It just
So y'all never like disagreed or never got mad at her. She got mad at you for anything. Like y'all just, it's been like
So
peaceful.
yeah, are you suggesting, Marcus, that your wife concedes to everything that you say without question? Huh? Yeah.
Boy, y'all gonna make this man have conflict tonight, ain't y'all? y'all gonna whoop some conflict on brother tonight.
No, I'm saying like I
gonna
asked,
get this work
get
tonight.
mad? Have you ever got frustrated or mad, or she never got mad or angry or nothing?
Hey, do y'all have conflict with your children?
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Y'all got conflict. How does that work with your children? You got conflict with your children?
Kids, they a whole thing, but we together on that. Like, do we have conflict with the kids?
No, not you, Marcus. I'm riding with you. I'm in the hoopty with you, man. We riding down. We going to the lakefront, bro.
Man, we gonna have to get off on 35th, Joe.
Yeah. We going to Pier 31, bro. I'm talking to somebody.
Yeah, you know, with children, it's gonna be a conflict because kids want to understand why they have to do what they do. You know, they may want chocolate cake for breakfast, and when you say you can't have chocolate cake, you have to eat some protein or you have to eat this instead. They need to understand. Well, that's a conflict. It's like, well, why? Why can't I have Pop-Tarts for breakfast and that's it? I don't want nothing else. I don't want no eggs. I don't want no bacon. I want Pop-Tarts and Kool-Aid. And that's it.
Shan, their curiosity is conflict. They're curious. They want
you got to go back and forth with them sometimes.
No, they're insubordination.
But
okay,
here go the thing.
Definitely conflict. I agree with that.
Here go the thing. We separate that. I think the trust that my wife has for me allows her to just defer. She just defer. Like, all right, if you say so, all right, that worked, and just gonna go with it. And she also know I'm gonna eat the responsibility of whatever come down the pipeline that go wrong from a decision I made.
So when you catching a head cold from the ceiling fan.
Huh? What's that?
I was saying when you catching the head cold from the ceiling fan, and you want to turn it off, but she burning up. Does the fan go off?
If I'm catching a head cold from this, you saying if I want to turn the fan off?
You want to turn the fan off, and she need the fan on because she's hot. It just go off. She just gonna burn up. She gonna just burn up. She ain't, because it ain't no pushback. It ain't no, or she's gonna just politely get up and go in the other room, and he's not gonna say come back. He's gonna say, all right, go on.
Mark said you living in hell. Turn that goddamn fan off.
We in hell tonight.
Hey, Marcus, they try to turn your house
when
into
Marcus wants some
society,
ass,
bro.
and she said no. Marcus says, all right, no
He
problem.
gonna have an argument tonight just to get
Marcus
it over with.
He understands the menstrual cycle. He understands headaches. He understands tired.
Like I think we're gonna break down. Like I think we're gonna break this down tomorrow, Marcus. We're gonna break this down probably.
Hey,
like
Mark, I can't wait.
There might be some gems. There might be some gems up in there, man.
He sitting up. He want to watch Monday Night Football, but he want to be in the bedroom. She try to get some sleep. It's football tonight, chick.
That means you must have did a lot of things right, Marcus. You must have vetted right.
Probably more what
got the cheat code, and the men want to know, man. The men are curious right at this point right now. Even some of the women.
Oh shit. I'm just messing with you, bro, man. Look, more power to you.
I think the main thing was establishing parameters to communicate. Once you establish the parameters to communicate, then you prevent the ability for things to go off the rail if you understand the rules of how y'all gonna communicate. One of the rules is we are never to say anything negative to each other. We can discuss anything, but anything intentionally hurtful is not for this relationship. You have at that point become an outsider trying to attack what we have by doing that. That go for friends, family, all of that stuff. If you're putting bad energy into it, that we just got to get away from that, right? We create a bubble, and that bubble is a circle of trust. And we communicate the way we communicate with each other, where we could talk about anything. And at best, it's a discussion. It's not no arguments and none of that stuff. Matter of fact, what should probably be like something a little tingy, it become a joke. We'll laugh our way through something talking about it, like, oh, damn, that Tesla gonna be too much. Yeah, but what if? Yeah, that's true. And we will playfully discuss something. We're not about to be sitting there arguing. It's not conflict, is what I'm trying to get you to
But
understand.
why do you see you're not you? That's what we were talking about earlier when we were talking about exaggerating to get your point. Okay, you keep going to this violent side. And conflict doesn't necessarily equate to violence or arguing. It just simply means a disagreement. You read the definition. I think you yourself said it's
I'll read it again.
disagreement.
A serious
It's a serious
disagreement or
disagreement,
argument.
yeah.
We have never had one of those ever. Not even gotten close. Incompatible or a variance clash. Never. Not even close. A concept of conflict.
You're gonna cause some conflict in the men's houses tonight because they're gonna lay down and they're gonna look at their woman a little bit differently based off what took place on this show. You know, they're gonna reflect because I mean you said some shit that just was mind blowing right now. Because a lot of men on the panel have gone through some conflict, and now to hear you say this, it's gonna be some men going to bed with their passports tonight, Marcus.
Not really. I'm not. You know why? You know why I wouldn't, JR? Is because I don't necessarily want arguing, but I believe that iron sharpens iron, and I believe that I don't have all the answers, and I believe that I don't know everything, even though I think I do. And so, as a result of a person that's in a position of power to have a council of people to give them opposing information, like nobody, like having a team of yes men in business, not in relationship, but in business, having a team of yes men, it'll get you to the point where you think it'll drive you to tyranny because you think that you just know it all and got it all because everybody's telling you, yeah, that's the best. Oh, you right. Oh, damn, man, you did that. That's the right thing. And when it ain't, and the next thing you know, your ass is on the news doing some shit that you shouldn't have been doing because you had all these yes men in your ear. Sometimes you need a person to say, hey, wait, that doesn't make any sense. Or let me show you why that's not necessarily the case. And even though I think it is, I need somebody to sharpen, you know, even though I think I'm sharp, I need another knife to sharpen me back, to show me the opposite of what I'm thinking. And that's, to me, that's conflict. But what they're saying may be best, or coming together may be best. But if I had somebody where, as Marcus describes it, just rolls with what I say, I don't know that I would even want that personally.
Well, I guess we gotta ask Marcus. Like,
for me.
You know, does she challenge you at all, Marcus? At all? You know, does she?
No, she don't be doing that.
Well, not challenge, but let's just say you got something that you don't see, something that you may miss, right?
Let me know about something. Yeah, I'll ask her. I'll be like, do you see anything? Am I tripping right now? Woo. I get information from her all the time. But being informed is something I'm thankful for. I'm not, she not going against my opinion to try and change my mind and tear. She don't operate like that. She just don't operate like that at all. That's not even the energy. She just don't got that type of energy. I'm gonna keep it real.
Y'all bought a house, right?
Yeah, we don't rent. Yeah.
How many pairs of shoes do you own?
Shit, I don't know.
At least 200.
Yeah, like 150, something like that.
I'm looking at that back wall. That back wall say 200.
How many of them are in the main closet? In the master closet?
I got shoes everywhere. I ain't gonna lie. It's a lot of these shoes.
Yeah, he ain't got no conflict.
Hey, that sneaker collection do tell the tale, don't it?
That shoe collection tell the tale.
Yeah.
Your shoes is everywhere. You don't get conflict.
Like I'm gonna say this about Marcus. What I noticed about Marcus is that he set the tone in the beginning, and so if it based off of him being on these panels, what I hear is that if it was anything that he didn't like, he wasn't gonna settle. So he already knew what he was getting on the front end, like before he decided to take that, and he was very intentional about who he was having his children with. So like there's a lot of us that's on these panels, and even some of us, even including myself, I made mistakes where you wasn't intentional when you did everything. So it sounded like he knew what he wanted from the start. He made sure he chose the right person to build this, and he said that I'm gonna rock with you and I'm gonna rock with you for life. So I think we could take a lesson in this. And then also too, I think it takes a certain type of man to be able to yield these type of results. Like I've been in situations where if a woman that trust is key. If a woman trusts you and trusts your judgment, your leadership, you'd be surprised as what she's willing to yield to. It doesn't mean that she's less of a woman or she can't give you some insight if need be. But it's just how
More
she
power.
right. But it's just all about how she goes about doing it. So I don't think Marcus is far off. I think there's a lot of women that are capable of, but you also got to be a certain type of man with a certain type of mindset. You got to know what you want on the front end, not you confused or maybe you just settled and then now you're trying to establish something midway. He was intentional from the get-go. So it was easy for him to be able to navigate. I won't even say control. Like a lot of people say you got to control your woman. It's like it's just the person, his aura, his energy, what he gives. And Marcus is very smart. You know, I've seen Marcus. Then one day I heard him. I'm like, God, I think I was editing a video. I'm like, this motherfucker is smart as fuck. I'm like, I mean, he think outside the box, and that's why I say, Marcus, you want to join these panels because he thinks differently. You know, he's patient. I never heard Marcus yell. I never heard him combat, argue with anybody. You know, so I believe 1,000% that when he's in his relationship, he sets a different type of tone where she's comfortable with being heard and being able to trust his leadership.
I can agree with that. I was just saying he basically said she was perfect. It's like cause my wife, y'all know my wife, whatever, right? But she ain't perfect. She far from that shit. So that's why that's why I was like, you know what I'm saying? Like my wife, you know what I mean? I trust her with my heart, you know what I mean, with my life type of shit, you know what I'm saying? But sometimes she slip up. And then that's when we had those conversations like, hey baby, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Let's get back to what we talked about in the beginning. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
but
that's what-
James, do
that's what I'm
you
saying.
slip up, James? But James,
Exactly.
do you slip up?
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. We human. So that's why when we were saying it's no conflict, that's why all of us is like, wow, because that means you perfect. And we never met nobody like that.
Did y'all just see James put an example of that choco what he just had a second ago?
James ass finna have some conflict tonight. That's you
He
finna have for supper, buddy.
Nah, I ain't gonna have no
That's what you
conflict.
finna have for supper, buddy.
Nah, I ain't gonna have no conflict.
Nobody gonna be playing grip ball up off in there.
But nah. We good over here.
I know that's
I mean, I can't say
Go ahead,
I can't
go
say
ahead,
it's impossible, because you know I've met some very agreeable women, right, who just really don't push back on anything. But it's just, you know, it's foreign to most people. I'm saying that's like below the 1 percentile, right? Almost no one is ever gonna have that type of experience, right? So of course, yeah, it's gonna take hella vetting, and you have to meet the perfect person. Even if they're not a perfect person, they're the perfect person, right, for you. And I can understand why you would have, like, because if you think about it, right, there's some people that you just don't argue with, right? It's hard to find a woman like that though, right? Because emotions, hormones, those type of things it's almost impossible, right? So that's why it's so hard to believe. I'm not saying that it's not true, because you've never proven to be a liar, but it's just, you know, it's not a reality for most of us, right? Almost no man has experienced that or will experience that, where they have zero conflict from their counterpart in life. So that's why everybody's, you know, really digging in like that.
And you want to know why, Trey? Because them guys not complaining. You know, they don't have to voice it. I mean, most of the people you hear complaining that's online they don't have that.
No, I'm even talking about just from like people I know, like, and not to say some people have great relationships, right?
Conflict in life is rare.
Yeah.
No, that's what he's saying. It ain't got nothing to do with somebody where they complaining or they on the internet, and he's saying zero conflict in life. Not one day of 365 a year for multiple years is there a conflict ever.
Yeah, because when you choosing a movie, choosing dinner, those are simple things, but sometimes I've seen things escalate from something as simple as that. Who's gonna wake up to change the baby, or, you know, if you understand the assignment, I can see how you could avoid most of those things, but it's almost impossible because people always feel like they're doing more and this person's not doing enough. So I mean, if you got that straight, man, more power to you.
So
'Cause
to
it's
give you an
tough.
example, like with the baby thing, right? I'm considerate. So if I know she was tired, I'm not go rest while I help do XYZ with the baby. I'm gonna pitch in and help. Like the thing is, it, by the way she is, it puts more responsibility on me to make sure I do right by her. And because of that, it creates a cycle of just doing for each other as opposed to anything in the opposite direction. It's I'm thinking about you, you think about me. 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 You trust what I'm saying or my plan it to failure or success, and you're gonna ride with me in that same cycle. I'm thinking about you, you think about me. I'm thinking about you, you think about me. I it really like, and I know it sounds like far-fetched, but I think if we reimagine the way we understand how we communicate with each other, and we how we engage with each other in relationships, like for example, I've heard when they talk about interracial marriages, right? And they were saying, like I heard them saying black women act differently when they in an interracial marriage, right? Because it's certain things that a person can't pick off and say to you because they're from a different culture. Like they can't say some of like you might be able to say, nigga, shut your ass up to one, you know what I'm saying? But you can't say that to that other person because they're not of your culture, or they not, you know what I'm saying? There's a wall there that prevents you from saying something extremely that would be taken the wrong way. What I'm saying is you can draw those same walls within a relationship for all negativity if you set that up from the beginning. So it's the parameters in which is acceptable behavior. Because the truth of the matter is we teach everyone we come in contact with how to treat us. If you teach the person that you're in a relationship how to treat you, and you learn how they want to be treated in return, then there should not be really too many, you know what I'm saying? Your day-to-day should be super smooth and copacetic. And when something comes up, those parameters that y'all are operating within keeps y'all within that locus of, hey, I'm not here to hurt you, you're not here to hurt me. We're not trying to push each other away. We're trying to pull each other towards each other. We trying to magnetize, not you know what I'm saying, not push away. And operating from that and understanding that will keep that cycle going. And I know when I say this, it's easy because you don't have to fight with the person you love. You don't have to have that strong of it. Like y'all got the same goal. Y'all got the same mission. Y'all can work together on the same plan. Y'all on board together. It's no real reason for y'all to be bumping heads unless there is a undefined power dynamic within a relationship, and then somebody is vying for power and you trying to get it back, and vying for power and you trying to get it back. And now y'all engaging in the you said something to me that I didn't appreciate. Now I need to hit you back with something that you don't appreciate in order to even out the. It doesn't have to be that way, but it requires the women to look at you truly and trust you, truly love you, truly be like, that's my, you know what I'm saying? And when you move from there, it's smooth. I used to ask her, like, how many years we been together? 7, 9, 10. Damn, it feel like 2 or 3. Cause it's just cool. It ain't, that's my homie. Like, I don't know.
Well, I guess that explains why you be coming on these panels on Thursday night. He needs a little conflict in his life. He come up here on Thursday night to get the conflict. Shit.
Yeah, but it's all like it all boils down to that trust, man. I think that trust is important. And I think, once you violate that trust, it's kind of really hard. It's kind of really hard for her to look at you in that light, man. Truth be told, like it's a lot of people that go through some trauma, but I've in my experience, some of the women that has gone through some trauma, if you don't violate them, like they're the most loyal ones. Especially like the ones that's like they don't have a family or they never grew up in a certain type of way. Like they're looking to have some structure in somebody, but as long as you don't violate them, like them the ones that really gravitate to them. But when you violate them, ain't no turning back. Like the women that got the anxiety, if you treat them good, they some of the most loyal ones. But the minute you violate them, it's over. It's a wrap.
Hey man, I'm a huge advocate for black men getting therapy. I think every black woman need to get therapy. Real talk. Especially those women that you talking about.
Hey, who said that? Rilla? Rilla, do you consider King Talk therapy?
Yep. See, I didn't see. I was challenged the other week. I said people need to see therapists or whatever, and people took that out. You know, and I get it. Words mean something, so it's not about the therapist. It's you can find if listening to jazz music or Andre 3000 flute album, or you shopping like responsibly for sneakers responsibly, Marcus. You know, that could be a form of therapy for you. Have you aromatherapy, collecting Lion-O figures, vinyl, whatever, you know what I'm saying? That could be a form of therapy for you, you know, but you
Yeah.
got to be able to channel your energy in a productive way. Like real talk. A lot of people
got an
hurting and spilling
employee.
on people.
I got an employee that listens to these affirmations every morning. He gets to the studio really early, and he has on, and it's this voice. It's like somebody recorded this voice that says, "I am great, I am amazing," and it's just this. It says this over and over for hours, and again, and it's just these affirmations that he listens to in the studio, and he says he goes to sleep on them too, and it's just, "I am amazing, and I am going to be the most positive person in the world. I am standing tall, and I will always be in my true." It just that's what it is. I don't know if I think it's a YouTube video actually, and he just plays it's like 2-3 hour long affirmations. And I asked him one day, I said, "Man, why do you listen to those affirmations? Like, what made you?" He said, "That's my therapy." He said, "That's my therapist, but it's my free therapist." And he said, without listening to those, he'd probably be a different person. Now, whether the things that he listens to comes true for him or not, he says by listening to those, it gives him the something to strive to be. And I thought that was interesting. It made me think about what you just said now. Like everybody needs therapy. But then what does therapy look like to everybody? Does it mean that we have to go to a clinical therapist that went to school and got a degree and has a plaque on the wall with their certificate, and we sit on their sofa and tell it while they hold a notepad and we tell them all our issues? Or can therapy be as good as listening to podcasts every morning while you drive to work? And listening, could therapy be you listening to Jim Rohn every morning and somebody else and giving you motivational pep talks before you get to your office every day? So I thank you for that. I appreciate that, because I you know, when he said that, I was just like, "Oh, is that therapy?" I said, "I guess that could be therapy that he's getting for free." Because are they saying the same thing that he'd pay $100 an hour for?
Go ahead, Professor. You want to say something? You want to close this out?
Oh, well, nah, well, it's amazing that you're talking about this, because I'm also a therapist, and I actually had a group therapy session prior to this show tonight. So, and we do it weekly, and it's just, you know, a support group of brothers, have a safe place to talk, you know, places where, you know, we can be vulnerable, but at the same time, you're protected, because, you know, the brotherhood is going to insulate you. And I think it's important, you know, because if not, we're a bunch of ticking time bombs, and we deal with so much emotional labor, it's ridiculous. So I salute any brother that gets therapy, and I suggest strongly that all the lovely ladies get therapy, because, you know, we don't need no more the way they with the where they go with it. If they don't get their trauma treated, you know, it could be dangerous.
Hey, Professor, what's your contact, man? Put your contact in the back chat or something like that, man.
All right, will do. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna put it in there now, and I want to thank my brother Sweeney too, because he's the one who actually set this up. And you know, brother JR, I appreciate y'all. Like I said, let me on tonight, man. I always watch y'all. So it's a privilege and an honor.
No doubt, man. It's an honor to have you, brother, man. We're just regular folks, man. Just trying to build over here. So salute to you
So,
for coming.
can I say something real fast, JR?
Go ahead.
It's November Men's Mental Health Month, man. Do what y'all got to do. I'm a big proponent of therapy, so I'm all for it. I know some people are not for it, and that's cool. You know, I'm not gonna fight you over. It's not worth it. I learned that from my man Marcus, conflict resolution. I'm all about that. But at the same time, for those who really need it, get on somebody's goddamn couch, because you motherfuckers have lost y'all goddamn minds. And I see y'all out here. Y'all needed somebody to talk to. And then don't don't just rely solely on YouTube shows or YouTube panels to get everything answered, all your questions. Sometimes you need to go to somebody that's a professional so y'all can handle it on a regular basis. On a regular basis. Because some of y'all need them every goddamn week. Some of y'all might probably really need them every other day for real. But since you can't afford that, go once a week.
There you go. We get these super chats real quick. I read this one already. Thomas Thompson, $5 says salute King, salute to you. Chef, what's going on, brother? Man, for 18 months, salute to Lapeef Network, Lapeef JI, Chicago Realist, Shannon Ross, the panel, and entire chat family. We also have Me University, $2 says hail code from the Silver Fan AC is the test. Y'all asking the wrong questions. I got a pen and paper ready when Marcus ready to break this down. Absolutely. Me University, $2 says some wives are great, but it succeeds from all. I want to thank everybody that's contributed to the platform. Let's make sure we support each other, man. Shout out to James and Lady Di for hitting 100K on YouTube and their success. Much love to you. Let's make sure we support each other. Professor Carl Tone is he's a therapist, so let's make sure we, reach out if you do need it. I know Hink is an advocate, and some of the other folks on here. Let's just support each other, hit each other on the IGs, YouTubes, whatever we got to do. Let's just make sure we support each other and just keep it in full circles. That's what it's all about, right? Shout out to the sponsor again, Teach Handling, Uncomplicated Skincare for Men, 30% off on free gift. That link is in the description. And shout out to Sugar Curls and Lapeef for coming together to bring you guys beard, face, and oil products for you guys. So click that link that's been to the top of the chat. Shout out to all my green gang. And we out, man. Thank you guys for your perspectives tonight. And y'all enjoy the rest of y'all evening.